Hi, this is Shiva Rajaya from vitalcoaching.com. Greetings again from Maui, delicious, beautiful island. I loved it here. The topic for this video is energetic detoxification. You might have noticed, if you practice yoga, that when you take a yoga pose, there is not only the pressure on the muscles, the stretching, what's happening physically, but sometimes that you will notice that there are emotions coming out, and those emotions, suddenly arise and are associated also with the pain or the stretch that you might be feeling physically. So I feel that something that is happening is really that those emotions are being released. You have the physical body, right? And on a more subtle level, you have what we call the biofield, the etheric body, the electromagnetic body, the nadis, the meridians, everything that has to do with the subtle layer of energy which is permeating the totality of your physical body. It's permeating every cell, every organ, and it's stretching around your body as well. So that's your electromagnetic vibration. Something else which is important is that when you have a traumatic experience or any form of emotion, whether it's positive or negative, it leaves a blueprint or an impact or energetic impact on this biofield. So what does that mean? It means that on the subtle level of your body, your biofield is not just a field of unified vibration that is circulating and harmonious. It's a complex set of energy pathways that is as intricate and complex as probably your physical body, or even more. Right now we don't have the instruments, the science, the knowledge, the vision on how to analyze and see in detail our biofield. It means that we see our physical anatomy because we have been looking at it, so you have all these manuals, you have all these very detailed explanations, designs, descriptions, images about our physical anatomy, but there is very little that we actually know about our biofield in comparison. Of course, you have Chinese medicine, you have different types of yoga which have been exploring on that, everything that has to do with nada yoga, which is activating precisely the nadis or the lines of life force or meridians, looks at that. But it looks at that from a very practical experience, from a feeling experience. It means that if I ask you how do you feel energetically, you will be able to give me an answer, but it's a feeling and it's vague. You don't know the details of what's happening in every cell. You don't know the details of what's happening when you are having a certain emotion. You can feel a little bit of it, but not in detail. Not with as much detail as you might be able to explore your physical body or physical anatomy. So imagine that every emotion, every thought that you ever had has a reflection in your biofield. It means that it leaves a mark, it leaves an imprint. And if you have a certain emotion multiple times, then this imprint is even stronger. If you had a traumatic experience, like a very strong fear in one specific location, it might be close to a cliff or in a park or in your house, then every time you go back to that place, you will have the same emotion, positive or negative, that will be triggered again. And the reason why it's triggered again is not just because of the memory, but it is as well because the impact of that emotion is still embedded in your electromagnetic field. So when you practice yoga, part of what you do when you practice hatha yoga, physical yoga, part of what you do is, of course, focusing on the flow, on the physical flow, but a lot of it has to do with activating the etheric body, activating the energetic body. So when you're activating the energetic body, clearing the nadis, clearing the energetic flow, and of course, you're going to hit disturbances, blockages of energies associated with negative emotions that have been accumulated over the past. So when that emotion is being hit through a very specific yoga practice or a very specific asana posture, and eventually the emotion is being hit, that lock of energy is being hit, in the moment it is being released, it comes back to the surface, a little bit like a bubble which is being released, comes back to the surface, and then is released into the air. So this is why you might have emotions coming to the surface when you are practicing yoga, taking a posture. The same happens, for instance, if you are singing devotional mantras, if you are using any form of spiritual technique, sometimes because of the clearing process that is associated with this practice, eventually you might have these emotions coming to the surface. This is why I call this process energetic detoxification, because you have toxins in the form of crystallized thoughts and emotions in your biofield which are being released. In the process of being released, you will experience often again the emotions or the thoughts associated with that specific experience. I hope that makes sense to you. This is what I call energetic detoxification. It's something quite powerful to remember, because when you have a negative emotion, you might think, oh, what's wrong with me? Why is this emotion coming back to me right now? Did I do something wrong? And very often it's not because you did something wrong, it's because you did something right. For the emotion to be released, very often you need to experience that emotion again. So you can really look at it consciously and think about that. Is the fact that you are experiencing that emotion again, is it a good thing or is it a bad thing? Is it because precisely the energy is being released, therefore you are being freed from that emotion and experiencing it one last time before it is being dissolved? Or is it a new experience which is being triggered again? See, the two experiences can be very similar, but in one case it's a freeing experience. And that's what I experience when I practice. I take a yoga pose, when I sing mantras, when I engage in any form of spiritual practice. You might actually experience freedom in the release of a specific emotion. Makes sense, right? Delicious bliss to you from Maui.